Maboika, ituno, kina, atiaono. Welcome, sisters and brothers. I love you all, man. I love you all. Listen, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm always trying to do stuff on my iPad, and for some reason, it keeps showing an error. Face, and then I'm getting this thing, alert about Facebook. That it might show up as unable to. I don't know what's going on. Something unable to view this or something like that on Facebook. So I don't know if you're getting this on Facebook because I'm going live on YouTube and on Facebook. So I could tell you when you get this is subscribe right here, Silos Congas at YouTube. If you feel you're not getting this on Facebook, I don't know. I should be live right now on Facebook, but I don't know. I'm not getting that love, man. People are not coming in and want to have this conversation. And you know what? I understand. I understand that conversations like this, like I said, it's mainly the purpose of this is mainly for self healing. Self healing. Looking back at the experiences, human experiences that I've been through, and self healing, and so that way, when I go forward, as we go forward, we're able to be aware, because that's the main thing is awareness. It's one of the main thing that we have to constantly be cognizant of, and that's awareness. You got to be aware. So this is a means of me, um, you know, becoming more aware now. This is not the same. This ain't Carlos. I'm gonna tell you right now, this ain't the same. I got a lot of friends. I treasure a lot of my friends, but I gotta let you know, this is not the same Los Carlos. This ain't the same one, bro. I've changed and I can see it. So, I don't mean to put anybody on alert and anything or blast anybody, but I'm gonna let you know you're dealing with a different entity. I've grown a lot because I've been through a lot. And so I'm learning and I'm still learning. So all my acquaintances from the past, you know, um, you gotta, if we ever, if our path crosses again, gotta know that I'm a totally different person, totally different, sober, aware, spiritual, which I'm hoping that all of us are. You know what I'm saying? All of us are. I'm more concentrated on natural nature. I'm more concentrated on the consciousness level and conscientious. Because you could be conscious and not be conscientious. You know what I'm saying? It's two different things. But we're another broadcast. We'll go over things like that because it's different levels. So just to let you know, man, I'm a totally changed person. Change. So don't expect me to react the same way as I always have reacted. Now it's about, I could say this, I'm learning so much about the music industry, in the music, blockchain technology, the way of going forward, and how to protect myself. So, a lot of, acquaintance that I have in the music industry, if you don't ever want to work with me ever again, you don't have to. You don't have to, because I'm going to still keep going. You know what I'm saying? I meet people every day. I meet musicians every day. Here in North Carolina, I meet musicians every day. Awesome musicians. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I, I've grown. I've grown. And now, I'm out here propagating the fact that music is a business. It's an industry, is a business, and you got to handle it like a business. You know what I'm saying? And that's how is it gonna be. I don't need to get out there and play at anywhere, even a university. I don't need to play anywhere, to be honest with you. I could just stay home and play myself. And with the streaming now and blockchain technology, you can do things and you can reach out to many people. So things change. Things have really, really changed, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to, and I feel that no one should hinder a musician, should hinder another musician, another artist, hinder another artist from growing. They should be able to grow together. You know what I'm saying? They should be able to sit down first and orchestrate what they're going to do, and head towards the same direction, and then protect themselves with contracts, protect themselves. You know what I'm saying? If you have an artist that is not, for that, and want to micromanage everything, and you're dealing with an egotistical musician, an egotistical artist, and you got to be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this out of love for all my fellow musicians and brothers, that we have to grow with the time. We have to grow with the consciousness, or the galactical consciousness, which I'm going to segue into this whole crown energy center. you know so I'm getting back on track with that. What I'm saying, I'm not going to recap too much on the other energy center, but what I do want to say is that this particular crown here, think of it as a magnetism, okay? And it reciprocal is the root. And the way it is linked to the root is because this magnetism deals with magnetic, cosmic magnetic forces. At the same time, magnetic forces that are in your body. In other words, the heavy metals that you take in from the root, from the food, or the heaviness you take in from your environment, or not having the proper currency, or not having enough currency, that affects the way this crown chakra is going to activate, and is going to either push down gravitational field, pushing down on you, or levitational is going to grow. The petals are going to open. So now you're going to view, it's going to put your universe is going to be in contact with the multiverse and all the constellation. And it has a lot to do with music too, because music are frequencies coming from a reservoir of thoughts and a reservoir of melodies that you picked out. You know what I'm saying? Just think of it. You know, um, I posted about the transcendental frequency, like for instance that song that Selena has written. Beautiful, beautiful. You could tell the minute you hear it, it says, "Wow, this came from an etheric force. This came from somewhere else." Anything for. Another one was by Charlie Chaplin, who wrote a song called Smile, I believe. I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna post it on my Facebook. Another one. And of course there are African American artists, like one guy that really was connected at one time, that I'm so shocked, was R. Kelly. Stevie Wonder, of course, connects to the cosmic. His frequencies, remember, he's able to reach out to other frequencies. You know what I'm saying? So, to these transcendentals, these exceedingly frequencies that come from from that higher reservoir, of melodies and thoughts, of these vibrations and frequencies and tones. So yeah, there are many songs. I'm sure. Just think of song, and you could tell, and says, man, these songs are just transcends. Excuse me one second. Man, I just had some bladder. I made me some tea, bladder, and it's just breaking up a lot of things, and also helps get rid of metals in your body. So so there's a lot of melodies, that are very, very. You could tell that these melodies are it transcends time, and you can hear it. You know what I'm saying? When you hear it, it says, "Wow, how there's no other way you can transpose this. There's no other way." There's a lot of melodies with that. So, when you speak about this crown energy center, again, imagine it thousand. They call it the thousand petals because when it's activated, it levitates. Plants levitates when it reaches out to the sun, or what we call the star energy center, which we'll go into later on the next podcast. You know what I'm saying? When it doesn't, those petals close up and you become heavy. You know what I'm saying? Heavy, heavy, heavy. And it happens on Earth naturally with the seasons. You got fall, winter, spring, autumn. I mean, fall, winter, spring, summer. You know what I'm saying? I remember it like that because these are the seasons, and your body goes through that season. Human experiences and civilization. This is a natural occurrence that happens. These seasons. You know what I'm saying? Things rise up and things fall. You know what I'm saying? And your body is built the same way. You know what I'm saying? The thing is to balance it perfectly, to balance it, as you're, experiencing, life, you're experiencing nature to balance that. So remember, we also speak that the blockage can be ego attachment. So this energy center, the crown, it's attached. It attaches you to your it's a cosmic energy, your cosmic experiences. You know what I'm saying? So it's attached to that because it's looking up at the star energy center and the galactical heavens, what they call the multiverse. And remember, as we says, you're like the drop of the ocean. You know what I'm saying? You have all the properties. Your etheric energy has all the property of the multiverse, etheric realm, all the galactical etheric realms. So you're just a little drop on it. And the idea is to put when you put the drop back into the that energy, the multiverse. So look at it as like a pond, and you drop a drop in there. What it does, the rings goes out, right? Right, ring, and you start making vibrations. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Just think about that, through your imagination, through your third eye. Because remember, these energy center are linked up with the third eye and the crown and the star. You know what I'm saying? And also your throat energy. This is the upper conscious area, the upper half, the conscious area. And that has to be in tune, um, in balance with the axis to put it in balance, which is your passion, your purpose, all of that puts that in balance, and it's balanced with your subconscious or your submerged conscious that's constantly going, and that's dealing with the solar plexus, it's dealing with the sacral, and it's dealing with the root. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, they all have a reciprocal. You know, so the root has reciprocal. It's the crown because it affects that magnetism. You know what I'm saying? The stuff you eat, the way you feel with your environment and everything. You don't want to be heavy. You don't want to be heavy. You want to be light. You know what I'm saying? That's when it goes into the whole comedic science too, with the balance, with the feather and the heart. Well, you don't want a heavy heart because you say to yourself, a heart naturally is going to be heavier than a feather. So this is really symbolic. This is a symbolism. You know what I'm saying? Is that this your your passion, your purpose, your caring, your kind, all of that. Your the way you um what is it? The way you trying to find the right word. Yeah, the way you navigate, the way you express yourself has to be light in balance with the feather. Remember the feather also, that ma'at feather there also is a quill. So it deals with your communication. How light are you? You know what I'm saying? Your creativity. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, want to be light, as an artist, creativity. All of this is so interconnected. We could go on and on and on having conversation about this on and on. But I just wanted to drop by, let you know, first of all, that the Facebook, I don't know what's going on with that. So I hope you're getting it. And I just wanted to, finish up on this Crown Energy Center for now, because remember, we're gonna, as we hit the star, we're gonna come on down. So, there is something that's beyond wisdom. It's like an innate type of cosmic feeling that we have. You know what I'm saying? Um, on Earth, and that's of times to deal with this crown energy center, you also have to ground yourself in your environment, ground yourself in those root energy center. Ground yourself. Make sure that everything is taken care of, and then go out to nature. I say walk barefoot and ground yourself to the earth, and then plant your feet firmly on the earth and have your ideas in the multiverse. You know what I'm saying? And but then create that balance. And all of this deals with it lights up your heart. You know what I'm saying? Your passion, your sense of feeling, because this is the energy center that deals with feeling, and you don't want a heaviness, you don't want grief. That particular energy center is blocked by grief. So, we talked about the crown energy center being blocked by ego attachment, and we went over how to actually work with the ego. And you're always going to have a sense of ego. I mean, because it's not wrong to have pride and knowing what you know. You know what I'm saying? It's just that when you do know what you know, you also have your experiences had to reflect it. Back it up with your experiences. Don't just say that you know something and you don't have no experiences. I mean, because that's ego. You know what I'm saying? I knew a brother one time. He was holding class. We was holding classes, Masonic classes, and this guy was talking about relationship. Being in a relationship, and so he's speaking on going in on relationship. And then I look back and I said, but wait a minute, this brother, you're not in a relationship. How can you speak about relationship if you never had a relationship? How can you speak about marriage and bringing up a family if you never did that? It doesn't make sense to me. Hold on one second. It just doesn't make sense to me how. So that's what I mean by ego. So a person could be so engulfed with the ego and saying, I know this and I know that and that, but they don't have the experiences to back it up. They haven't tested those waters. You know what I'm saying? And that's ego, you know. And it's bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than you in terms of you got to constantly keep that beginner's mindset. Learn something. You think you know it all? Then take a walk to the library. Look at the library. Look at all those books and tell me how much do you know. Go to a bookstore. How much do you really know? You know. So that's just ways of dealing with this ego. You know. So, but anyway, I don't know what else that I can. I'm trying to think. I did have some thoughts, but a lot of the thoughts that I've been having, I like prepare ahead of time, is dealing with the star energy center. But how does the star energy center deal with the crown energy center? We'll go into that later on. But right now, just want you to, you know, we need to be aware of how we, this magnetism and being aware again of these different energy centers that helps balance this universe, the one verse, which is part of the many, the multiverse. So you're the universe, and then you have the multiverse. So how do you, strengthen that? How do you balance that? You know what I'm saying? How do you, and again, it's by working on the other energy centers and the small things. Take your time, with small things. You want to deal with fear. You want to deal with guilt. You want to deal with the shame. You want to deal with the grief. And you're gonna always these things are always gonna come through. We're gonna lose family members as we go by, so we're gonna have some sense of grief. You could be walking down the street and you got a couple of change in your pocket, but then this person asks you, do you have change? And you say no, knowing that you have it. And then later on you say, oh man, why did I do that? You know what I'm saying? Why did I know I had to change, but I could have gave it to this person. But at that moment, you feel like just saying no. You know what I'm saying? Because it's okay to say no, to be honest with you. But then if it creates this guilt, it's going to always create some type of guilt in you, you know? And then, of course, shame and a lot of these things are always going to come up. But the thing is to be aware when they do come up and knowing how to balance yourself, balance yourself, that energy. You have to sit back and go into a meditation and learn how to purge yourself from these different blockage, you know? And so, on another podcast, we'll go deep into that, saying we will actually, well, we could do it here. You know that the root energy center is blocked by fear. You know that the sacral is blocked by guilt. You know that the solar plexus is blocked by shame. And then the heart energy center is blocked by grief. And then you have the communication center, energy center, the throat energy center is blocked by lies. Your third eye is blocked by illusions, and your crown is blocked by ego attachment, and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? Also, you got ignorance. That's a blockage for when it comes to your root energy center. You know what I'm saying? And not knowing things about your genetics. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go deep into those other two, you know. But you know, on a daily basis, we have to you know, constantly be aware of how these different blockages could seep in and cause a little bit of imbalancement. It's not gonna be so perfect. You're not gonna get it so perfect. You know what I'm saying? But just being aware and dealing with it, little by little. Little by little, you deal with those blockage. You know. Yeah. So I don't want to stay too long. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta. This is actually a test. I gotta see what's up with this Facebook. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Um, Maybe I'm being blocked. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? This type of knowledge, um, this type of awareness, I would say awareness that we embarking in, and I'm speaking in the plural sense, we, those who are like-minded and who's enjoying these podcasts and these exchanges. You know what I'm saying? Where can you imagine? It's like, can you imagine? I mean, that the youth or more people that are are in this paradigm, and again, we speak about paradigm. We talk about the habits, and your ways that you either inherited or you constantly are are engaging in these habitual habitual living, habitual habits, those habits. And so, can you imagine that we can shift this paradigm by learning, this these energy centers. You know what I'm saying? By learning these energy centers and working with them constantly and getting the support system from those like-minded and having these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Having these conversations. Right now at the Crown Energy Center, we can have the conversation about the Crown Energy Center in terms of the ego. You know what I'm saying? And you got to open up and say, well, what are the things that you're doing that seems to bring out certain egotistical behavior, saying that we have? And what are the ideas to sort of like, balance that, and work with those areas in our life that are creating this blockage so that we can't connect with those higher frequencies. You know, remember also that your hairline, if you look at your hair, top of the hair of the baby, it's spiral, right? And then you see the point of the hairline here, spiral, because this is an energy. You know what I'm saying? This is the part of this frequencies, this magnetism that pull you down. There's a test. I forgot the name of the test that you actually press down and then your eyes up, and you can notice and you can know. There's some tests that they do that. I think in military, there's just a test that they do to determine how that and what they do, they're figuring out your magnetism, how light you are and how heavy you are. You know what I'm saying? You can feel that magnetism. You know. So, frequencies, with the right frequencies, put you light on your feet, create a lightness about, in your being, your etheric being becomes light, you know. And remember when we were speaking about the etheric energy center, we're talking about the actually the energy that drives us, that puts us animate, you know what I'm saying? Animates us, makes us move. For instance, the root energy center is the one that is your survival. You know what I'm saying? That energy when you focus on that energy and you put those wheels, then you're more in tune with the foods you eat. You're more in tune with your currency, your finance and stuff. You're more in tune with your environment around you, and you want to get that all balanced so as to create a favorable condition for yourself living. And also when you deal with the sacral energy center, that's the energy behind what sex is and the energy behind pleasure. Why there's certain things I have a pleasure I enjoy. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy certain things, but there's an energy that you can put into that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Also the will, that will to do certain things, that energy, that will is the solar plexus, right? And the will for you to identify with yourself, to know your identity, your personal power, to know this is who I am. This is me. I am. You know what I'm saying? and and then you get with this access, it's that heart energy center, the energy behind your want to be kind, or your passion, your purpose with a reason is passion. You know what I'm saying? So that energy you have, that passion, you know what I'm saying, right here in the axis, and that's the balancement between the top and the bottom, right? And your carry, right? Then that energy, what gives you your voice, your particular voice that you have, the communication skill, that energy behind that, you know? And then of course that energy you have to imagine things, that energy that you have that gives you that intuitive sense of thinking, you know what I'm saying? The imagination, that intuitive wisdom, that energy behind that, you know what I'm saying? And now we're dealing with this magnetism, that energy. In order to have a magnet, electromagnetic forces has an energy. What energy that has on your human experience in your body? That's the reason why breath has a lot to do with it too. You know what I'm saying? When you take, athlete takes in a lot of breath, that's that they grow bigger. You know what I'm saying? At one time, there were people grown taller at one time because it was in the forest and whatever, because the growth, the energy that they were taking in, the breath, and then you also have the pygmies and stuff, on the lower half, you have the pygmies and stuff like that. But it's those that are invested in more in the breath grow, because that's the energy. There's an energy in that prana. You know what I'm saying? It's electromagnetic energy in there also that is related to all of this energy center, you know? And so the crown energy center is this magnetism, this feeling, not feeling, but this energy that makes you feel heavy, gravitational, and it also levitational. And it's a lot to do with the constellations too. So we'll go into that later on, about the different constellations and how all species on this planet, even the ancient ancestors, you know, dealt with that energy, the star energy, and this crown was activated so that they can move in a way in conjunction, in tune with the galactical, with the constellations. You know what I'm saying? And this in all cultures, and even all species, insects. I mean, look at the beetle. When it rolls the scarab, when it rolls its doom, is that perfect um ball, and it starts rolling, it starts walking backwards, right? And it starts rolling its down. It is walking in the direction of the Milky Way. It's in tune with the Milky Way, with that constellation, and they walking in that direction. You know what I'm saying? They're making a straight line, as a straight line like the Milky Way. You know what I'm saying? Then look at the ants, how they, look at the hmm, there is a galactical, like cells, the macro world, the macrocosm, and the microcosm, how it is reflects each other. As I said, as above, so below. You know what I'm saying? And then you have our ancient ancestors all the way from Kemet, that area, even further out to Asia, all the way into the South American, areas, in this part in the West, how they constructed their life, their cities by following, by being in tune by galactical, forces, or galactical, or say galactical forces and stuff, in tune with that, Orion bells, and the Doggers with the Sirius A and B, and the Sabians, the Kush with the Sirius, um, Sirius star area, Orion, the Germans with the Aldebaran, the Palladians, all these different constellations had an effect on species on this earth. And it all has to do with this connection from the crown to that sun, to the galactical, you know. So we'll go deeper into that when we go into the star energy center, that energy behind that, and how we can harness that. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, and it's not to lean on astrology, but it's more astronomy. It's different than astrology. You know what I'm saying? So all of that is related and how that works. But we have to be very careful with that also. You know what I'm saying? We can't lean too much into that, because remember, we are human beings. We're human beings, and we have to still be balanced and in contact with the earth consciousness and the earth grounding, and then with the also with the galactical, and they say they have a galactical confederation. So therefore, we have a united confederation of Taino people. You have the Confederacy. You have all of these, different confederation here on Earth, because it is mimicking also the Galactical Confederation, which is dealing with all these Orion groups, the Aldebarans, all these different galactical groups, because, we have to say, that we're not the only planet that has life on it. So you don't know what kind of life there is out there. You don't know what technology that they have. You know what I'm saying? We have a human technology, so we're able to accomplish a lot of things in a humanistic way. So they also have a technology, a humanoid technology. Remember, humanoid organism, you know, that grown of the conditioning from the plasmatic. We can go deep into that. I don't want to go into that right now. I just wanted to scratch the surface on the crown, and that is those 1,000 petals, and how that is reaching out to the star, the sun. Plants grow out, the flowers blossom, photosynthesis take place. So when you deal also with, like star sun gazing, very important to sun gaze, because you're feeding your crown, and you're feeding your, through the optic, you're feeding your pineal, your third eye, and you're also feeding your crown. You know what I'm saying? Your nourishment, because that's one of the nourishment that every living organism needs on this planet is the sun. You know what I'm saying? So we're like this magnetic, these petals that allow this magnetic force, and then when it comes to levity, it grows out, and we're able to in tune ourselves with cosmic energy. That's the whole and I that's the whole idea behind this energy center is to tune yourself to this cosmic reality, cosmic reality, you know, that we're discovering or the scientists are discovering every day. And our ancestors did that also because they looked up to the constellations. You know what I'm saying? They looked up to the constellations. You know. Oh, so you know, again, when it comes to music, it's important to open up these energy centers so that you can hear with your inner hearing and your inner side, your inner, and you can attune yourself to these frequencies that transcends, it's transcendental. And then you open up to these melodies coming into you. You know what I'm saying? It just opens you up. And then, of course, with the experience that you have with your instrument, because you practice and you know your instrument well enough that these ideas can be expressed through your instrument. You know, these ideas of doing things. Like it's remarkable when I be with my brother Giovanni Hidalgo. And then I know at one time he had books on extraterrestrial. He wasn't, he was pretty knowledgeable when it came to, dealing with extraterrestrial realms and galactical realms also. And then I looked at it and I was like, wow, that's something in common we have. And then I seen when he played, it was like it took him there, and he was able to harness these ideas that came from again transcendentals ideas. You know what I'm saying? And then bring it down and express it through his ability to work this percussion. You know, whatever percussion he was playing at the time. You know. So he opened up. He opened up a lot. You know, he told me some stories that I was like, wow. Now I got to understand. I said, now you're giving me an insight to this inner working of your mind. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, I resonate with that. I was like, man. And then, my playing ability just excelled, you know? And I'm still learning. I'm still learning. And any percussionist tell you, we're still learning. Musicians, artists, we're still learning because there's so much. You have you got 7 notes, right? More than 7 notes. You got seven, nine, 10. You got like 13 notes. Dealing with the piano, the notes on the musical scales with the flats and sharps, right? With the sharps, right? So you have all these notes, but look at the vast amount of music that you can express. It's infinite, infinite. Because there's these other frequencies that is a vast galactical experience. And then when your mind is able to view that and hear it, then you're making you know connections. You know you're making connections. You know, so much we could discuss about. There's so much we could speak about, but this crown energy center. But the main energy behind it is this electromagnetic energy. That's the main energy is electromagnetic. You know, you know, the sense of being heavy or the sense of being light. You know what I'm saying? And even for musicians too, man. I've played music, and when I feel so lightheaded and light, And I was like, yeah, no care. And then you sit down on your instrument, play congas or bongo. Man, it was like you're in tune. You're in tune with something because you did the practice earlier. You learn, you practice, you practice. Repetition. Repetition is good. Repetition is good because you practice, right? A lot, your repetition. And then when you get these ideas into your head, do not be afraid. It's like this. Do not be afraid to experiment with certain type of sounds, or certain type of rhythms on your instrument. You got to experiment. You know what I'm saying? Experiment. See what comes out. Unleash that power, that magnetic power. Unleash it. Unleash it. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see. And you'll see. You know. And then, the idea that we are all interconnected and this is the multiverse. So don't you be around musicians that are like-minded and do not feel that you always have to micromanage the other musicians or artists. Let them explore it also, but let them know this is the direction we're going. This is the direction we're going in when it comes to expressing this piece of art. This is the direction I want to go in. So let's see how you can explore. Let me see what you got that you could explore into that. And then let's put it together and let the multiverse do its thing, man. Let the multiverse do its thing. I mean, you know, I'm learning this and I want to create, lyrics and I want to create music like that. You know, I want to do that. It's just experiment. Go in your mind. I've learned certain rhythms and then I just experiment with it, see if I could do it this way and that way. And I was saying, you got to feel light. You got to eat the right type of food. I remember one time as a musician in New York, I remember one time playing with a band, and I remember that I had a thing that never to eat any heavy metals and meat before you perform because you're gonna feel heavy. Because I learned that from a couple of rappers and artists, out there, especially some jazz artists I was playing out there with. At that time, I was going to NYU and I was playing. I met a couple of artists up there. Like Steve Jordan and stuff. And I remember we used to have this conversation that we didn't want to eat meat before we got on stage. Like, you know, and also Niagara Falls. I was playing with a couple of musicians and never eat. And also in Orlando, I know some musicians you never eat before you get on that stage because you're gonna be heavy. You're gonna feel heavy. You gotta feel as light, light, light. And I learned that with CMOS, I just had bladder. I got to give me some CMOS. I had bladder. Bladder also releases certain metals in your body. But the CMOS is one of the greatest plant superfoods that help get rid of these heavy metals and you feel light. You'll lose weight and you'll feel light and it'll open you up. Open you up, being light on your feet and stuff like that. You'll feel great. So, this is very important. Very important. The diet is very important. I'm telling you, I'm starting to write some lyrics. I want to get some music done. I don't have a keyboard right now, but as soon as I get a keyboard, I want to get some ideas. I want to reach out to the cosmos, get these ideas. You know what I'm saying? And right now I'm doing it with rhythm, and I wanna just work on you know, these ideas to connect with the multiverse at the same time muse. Because music is about musing, it's pleasurable. You're musing. So as to by musing, you can also connect and become a contributor to humanity in a good way. In a good way. You know what I'm saying? For instance, Songs of the Key of Life, man. You listen to that, our whole album, man, that's contributor because it's got art, it's an art form. And art. Back then there was art, 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 art. You know what I'm saying? I even like Led Zeppelin. I even like, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, man. The artwork behind that classical, concept. And them guys are reaching out. I like Carl Palmer as a percussionist all around because he was using the traditional classical a big orchestra type of percussion. He was bringing it into this rock form. Ooh, fanfare to the common man. Whoa, man, unbelievable. And Keith Emerson, Greg Lake. Rock too has a couple of musicians. They ate different. They were, at that time, a lot of them did use certain chemistry like ayahuasca, LSD, and stuff like that, because that also tends to, you got to be careful with that because it forces it forces to open up those energy centers, and it forces it. So before you take LSD, before you take ayahuasca, your diet has got to be right, because if not, all of that stuff is gonna manifest within your center, your imagination, your viewing, your viewing. And so, a lot of time in a lot of these rock artists, yeah, they did have this. They were doing that. And that's how the music was different, especially with the Beatles when they started getting into that. Then you started seeing the sitar in their music, and they started, the White Album, and, it took music into a different form. You know what I'm saying? That's the era that I come from. But now, you know, music has taken another form. But if you're an artist, you're an artist. And big ups to my brother, Dima Sanchez, and his work that he's doing with Latin jazz. I like it. I mean, they're pushing the envelope, and that's good, and that's a good thing. They're pushing the envelope. It's a shame that that people are not, so much into this commercialism and stuff like that. But now all of that's gonna change. So my musician brothers and sisters out there, my musician sisters and brothers out there, all of that is about to change because they got this whole blockchain technology, which I'm getting into. How that's changing the whole music industry. Again, that's opening up to also the galactical, arrangement system is based on that. We got the web. You run like a spider webs, and then you look at a web of the spider. It looks like the brain web, the neurons when it's moving about in the brain as a web. You know what I'm saying? All of this is related. All of this is all related. We're living in this human technology. We're living in this human experiences. So when it comes to this blockchain technology, or this is like a web. It's it's going to change the way music is the business of music is going to be handled. Look it up. Blockchain technology is going to change the music industry because a lot of musicians you know, um, um, have gotten taken. You know, their music has gotten taken, fraud. Stolen. You know, their ability, their musicianship has been misused. And a lot of times, there are other artists that's misuse another music because they don't know better because of the technology, it wasn't there. And, that way of conducting music business, that's the way it was. But all of that is gone. It's done with. Done. The copyright, all of that is done because blockchain technology is changing all of that. Because now you're speaking about, a technology, the fourth industrial technology, a technology that's going to imprint anything that you do is going to be imprinted into the internet, into worldwide. It's going to, and once that's imprinted onto that internet, it leaves a print, a fingerprint. So your work is going to be protected. you know, and then people can download your streaming and all of that. Once you get to know it and you set yourself up really good, and every time somebody stream your stuff, you're going to accumulate a certain amount of data that can be converted into what they call cryptocurrency, that can be converted into any mediums of of system that you're using for wealth. It's deep. It goes so deep. It's about to change. All of that is changing. Even for artists, also, all of that is changing. The fourth industrial revolution is changing the way we think and the way we handle ourselves, the way we conduct business, and everything geopolitical. Everything is changing with the fourth industrial revolution. That's what it's about. And then you also have the reset, the global currency reset. Look that up. And all of this stuff is all going to Michigan. It's going to be related. It's going to be how we're going to conduct ourselves in the future. Because this is, again, where we're rising, ascending up, and this crown is now being activated, the petals, and it's receiving its energy from the star energy and the galactical. All of this energy consciousness is reaching out to us. Everything is changing from even the galactical, the the constellations, the galactical systems. Everything is changing. It's changing. And if you got to change with it. You got to be up on it. That's the reason why I decided to do this podcast, because it's the change that's coming. And I don't care. Go try to block it on Facebook or block it, whatever you want to block it. But it's out there. It's out there already. You know, it doesn't matter. It's out there. I'm not the only one. There's many of us that are being woken, that are being activated. And I don't want to say, oh, yeah, there's a lot that I got to learn. I'm not fully activated, but there's a lot that I got to learn. But I know when speaking with certain, when speaking to certain people and speaking to like-minded people, or speaking to just people in general, you see this awake, you see it happening. Things are changing because time has changed. Change is constant. There's one thing that you guarantee in life is change, no doubt. With death, the death is a change. You know, you know. So we'll go into deeper when it comes into the star energy center. So remember, the crown is magnetism and this sense of reaching out to the cosmic energy. All of that is with the crown energy center. You know what I'm saying? It's an electric energy, the frequencies. And all of this can cause you either to levitate in terms of levity, in terms of lightness, not being heavy and down by all these, experiences, but being light, you know, and dealing with that. So it's a difference, you know, you know, and not being heavy. This is the way this magnetism comes in. This is where, as the soft spots start getting harder and harder and harder, we get older and older and older, right? So we start becoming heavy, shrinking. You know what I'm saying? You know, but there's still a sense of of bliss, blossoming. There's still that. Keep that and keep your youthness. You keep your youth. You know what I'm saying? By being light. You know what I'm saying? And having this ability to reach out to the cosmic energy, because you need levity in order to reach out, you know, to this cosmic energy out there. So we're going up and up and up. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's very, very important. You know, so I just want to say that we are one of the most. We are all very unique and important. At the same time, we are all one, or we are all many. You know, What is it? One or many? Well, that wholeness. We're all wholeness. We're all many that seems to be in order and moving as one, in the galactical. You know, it's 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 it's. Remember, we're speaking the English language, so the English language seems to be a little tricky. You know what I'm saying? So, got to find the right type of words. That's against learning about this communication energy, throat energy center, and knowing how to unblock it. Because it could be blocked with lies. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you know what it is. It's truth is, all the pieces of the puzzle fitting perfectly neatly together. Everything adds up. Everything fits neatly together. You know, false is the opposite. Lies, is the opposite of that. It just doesn't add up. So many things that don't add up. So, we're dealing with certain situations. We're dealing with certain blockage that we have to deal with on a daily basis, making sure that everything is balanced. So it's good to meditate, you know, sun gaze, then meditate, you know, ground yourself, work with this. It's human technology. Work with the human technology and we can see how you're able to overcome a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? You're ready. You're ready to take on the world, take on anything that comes your way. You're ready for it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we have all gone through so much in life. And I could tell you what I've gone through, and I'm sure a lot of people have gone through so much. It's just, you got to remember what you went through, and you got to realize that you come a long way and you're still learning, and we're still going to come. We still got a lot to do. Remember, that's one of the ways to unblock that ego attachment is that you feel that you've done it all and that's it. You can't. I've done it all. I've done this and that. Hey, there's so much more to do. So much more to do. You know. So shout out to all my sisters and brothers. And all my musicians friends, my musicians, comrades. Colleagues. We have made some beautiful music back in the past. We made some beautiful music, but there is so much more music to make. You know, there's so much more. Remember, you have to. I've made music in my lifetime, and I had to let it go because now I don't have anything to do with it anymore. For instance, a lot of people don't know that I recorded the first hip hop record in history, Funky 4+1 More. I let it go. I let it go. You know, there's so much more to do. So much more in hip hop. There's so much more to do in Latin jazz and salsa. There's work to do. Once you complete your artistry at that time, once you think you accomplish it all, you stop growing. There's so much more that you can do. That what you're doing right now is just momentarily, and you do it and you perfect your craft and you go on and on and on. Then there come to a point where you gotta let it go so it can do its thing. You know what I'm saying? And then when you let that go and say, there's much more to come. There's more music that I gotta make. There's more, melodies that I have to find. There's more rhythms that I have to work with. You know what I'm saying? Mhm. Hold on 1 second. Oh man, I'm telling you, I wish I could have gotten my freaking my iPad working, but it's not working. We would have gotten that working. It would have been cool because I would have done some stuff over here trying to set this down because you know what I'm Mm. Well, I'm entering. Let's see what's going on. Okay. I have a feedback because I've been trying to put this down so I can do some music stuff over here. But I don't know. Well, I'm having a moment here, guys. Okay. I'm having a freaking moment. So I don't know what's going on here, but I gotta do. Okay, so I guess YouTube is working. You know, I put myself as a guest here, so I'm hearing something going on. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Ah, it keeps moving on. I gotta get it together. Hey, keeps moving on. Hey, well, anyway, that's one of the rhythms that I'm working with. I can't really do it now because my stuff is moving around. I don't know what happened here, y'all, but I'm gonna let y'all go. I don't, so maybe I'll just check it out later on. Okay, so peace.